historical event in baseball, Jeff. That is the statement from Hal Steinbrenner that after 47 or 49 years of prohibiting facial hair, the New York Yankees have changed course, and they say, as long as you are keeping it trimmed up and looking good, you are allowed, as a baseball player wearing pinstripes, to have facial hair. How about that?
Yeah, I got here early this morning. It was me and Jared Sandler in here, and I had seen the news coming in, or don't want to intimate that I was on my phone looking at Twitter. So I saw it before I left my Airbnb, and all of a sudden Jared goes, "Oh my God!" And I was like, "What? What happened?" He's like, "The Yankees are allowing beards now." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's old news." But it is a big deal, and I'm going to be curious to see though the definitions. What's acceptable, what isn't. I don't think you're going to see John Gray out there. I don't think that's fits the Yankee motif. But I think that some stubble, a nice tight beard, maybe one that is a nice design and well kept down below the chin. But I don't think Dallas Keuchel and Charlie Blackmon would be accepted. But I think that maybe Matt Carpenter from a few years ago might be okay. And so we'll see how it pans out. But I guess Steinbrenner George was the one who instituted that rule, and maybe he did it at the time when hippies were going crazy, and didn't want any hippies on his team looking nuts. So I guess we'll see how this plays out. But yeah, it's about time they caught up to the times.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. The 50s, certainly 40s, 50s, and even the conservative people in the 60s, a la Steinbrenner, George, that is, were, very clean cut. I think the Prophet and I were talking about, Prophet's bearded, by the way, and we were talking about it beforehand. And I think, way before that, it was hard to shave. And then all of a sudden technology made it easy to shave. And for years, guys were just like, shave, clean shaven. This is cool. This is easy. And then all of a sudden the hippies said, half the establishment, we're going to grow long hair and beards. And Steinbrenner didn't want it. And then famously, when he implemented this, Lou Piniella was still playing for the Yankees at the time. And Lou comes into the office and he says, George, Jesus had a beard and long hair. And they were at spring training, and Steinbrenner points out the window and he says, Lou, you see that pond out there? When you can walk across that pond on top of the water, I'll let you have a beard and long hair. So that's how dedicated George was to this, and Hal has stuck with it for all these years. And I imagine that he didn't say the words "No Duck Dynasty beards" in there, but it's kind of what he's thinking.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's fun though. Good. That's a good storyline.
yeah, not bad. I don't mind that a bit. And by the way, the Rangers social media people had something on Twitter coincidentally today, because they had to have prepared it a different day, but they were asking they were asking the players which player had the best mustache. And I think that the hands down favorite ultimately was John Gray. But I believe that's more than just the mustache. I mean, like Tony Beasley was one of the ones they interviewed with the tiny microphone. And Bees was like, the flowing hair and the beard that matches, right? So that's the whole look. But it's a pretty consistent look. I wonder, because he hasn't shaved or cut his hair since prior to the 2023 World Series. So is he going to grow it until they win another one? Is that it?
Geez, that's a tough call. I don't know. The guy we talked about yesterday, Nestor Cortez, he sports a pretty dandy mustache, and Raleigh Fingers probably has the all-time best.
No
But
doubt.
you just don't see a lot of straight stashes anymore. And the Rangers visiting clubhouse manager Mason McKenna, he's here. He's sporting a stash, and he's getting a pretty good ribbing for it. But there are a lot of guys, and this thing is also, these things are cyclical style, I guess. There was, I don't know, just before COVID, there were a couple years there where it was the bald head and the big beard, or a beard, and that's gone away. And now it's like a kind of a conservative haircut and a tight beard. I swear to God, there are 4 or 5 guys in spring training right now. I can't tell the difference.
Right.
I really, if you put a gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to tell them all apart. So you can lose track of guys, but Marcus Semien has a good solid look with what he has going on. Joe Barlow is reaching John Gray territory, but Davis Wenzel, who's in Reds camp now, he was John Gray. He had the big hair and the big beard, a little more on the Duck Dynasty side than whatever John I think is going for like some badass mythical video game character, whereas I think Davis was going for Duck Dynasty. But whatever it is, hey, more power to him. Be yourself.
Yeah, good for them, and good if you can grow a beard like that. Marcus, by the way, did get several votes on the tiny microphone that the Rangers social media people did, as did Adolis. Adolis got a few votes, but anyway, that is our facial hair talk for the day, and I know Rougned Odor, Joey Gallo, a few other people who went to New York from here would be sad to know that this rule has now changed and that it didn't change when they were there. And Gallo, for example, had a really, good-looking, trim, tight beard.
Yeah,
His was not he wasn't unkempt in any way.
No, he. I mean, obviously everybody looks different when they shave their face, but Joey looked a lot different when he shaved.
We all silly like the mayor.